I got a record coming out that I worked on for almost 20 years. It was a very famous band in the Hollywood scene back in the late 70s and early 80s called the Weasels. And they were a strange band because they would play with the Mentors, the Misfits, Black Flag, Circle Jerks, and they were very popular. But then again, the next weekend, they'd be playing with Van Halen. It was weird because they were a punk band, not a punk band, but they were kind of punk, but their lyrics were very irreverent. And they did a single called Beat Her with the Rake. And KRLQ picked it up when they were underground. And they started playing Beat Her with the Rake, and everybody loved that song. They had a huge following in the Hollywood scene. They would sell out the Whiskey, they'd sell out the Starwood, Troubadour, they'd open up for Van Halen, or they'd play with Black Flag, or all these bands, you know. And they were very, very popular. But no record company wanted to touch them because your song is called Beat Her with the Rake.
Right.
And I know the words by heart. I went to the bar. Check this out. I went to the bar. I was out of gin. And when I turned around, she was at it again, giving head in the corner. To my best friend, oh, honey, I can't take it. This rake's your end. That was the first lyric. And the flip side...
Wasn't the chorus to that Beat Her with the Rake, make her pay for her mistake?
Right. I beat her with the rake and made her pay. And the last line of the song is, I beat her with the rake and made her pay for her mistake because no bitch of mine gives out free head. Now, the joke is, somebody might be listening to your show right now saying, that's disgusting, you know, you're promoting violence toward women, you know, you're to beat your woman because she cheats on you. It wasn't, it was just tongue in cheek. Right. It was just a joke. The flip side of that single was called I'm Your Commander. And that was, I told you what to do, now I'm your commander. Shot my last girl because I couldn't stand her.
And then,
see, you guys are laughing. And when I produced that album, I couldn't stop laughing through the whole recording session of the 12 songs. I was just cracking up. And the cool thing was the guitar player was a Jeff Beck influence. The bass player was an Ent Wilson influence. Mike Brophy, God rest his soul, who passed away, the singer, I swear to God, and I'll say this straight up, he was like a Jim Morrison. He had the most cool, commanding performance on stage. He was the coolest motherfucking singer I ever saw on stage. I remember went to the Rainbow after a show. It was the Van Halen and the Weasel, Mike Brophy, the singer, and me, and we're sitting in the kitchen eating dinner, and David Lee says, well, I just want to tell you, Brophy, you'll fucking never open up for us again. And it really hurt Brophy's feeling. He goes, what do we do? What's the matter? He goes, you guys are too damn good. That's what he says. That's what David Lee said to Mike Brophy. He goes, you guys are just too damn good. Because they were just a really great band. But when the right wing, you know, I don't want to use the word Christians, but, you know, when the right wingers found out there was a song on the radio called Beat Her with the Rake, they went after KRLQ, they shut them down, and every label was afraid to sign them. So unfortunately, the band broke up. This was 1981. Here I am 25 years later, and I said, you know, you guys had that one song, Rake, it's famous, everybody knows about it in the punk scene, but you had 9 or 10 other great songs. And I literally called Mike Brophy before he passed away, called Dick the guy, the bass player, called Greg Derschlag, the guitar. I called the whole band, flew them down to L.A., put them in my studio, and we spent a month and we recorded all their songs, and I recorded it. Now, unfortunately, all the tapes disappeared because I sold the studio to Jack Russell, and he cleared out all my lockers, and the tapes went MIA. And I said, what a shame, with some really great stuff. So a year ago, I find the tapes. They're in a locker at Jack Russell's. And I went, holy shit, it's the whole Weasels album. So I went back in the studio, finished it, mixed it, it's done. It's coming out on Cleopatra Records in a couple months, and it's called The Real Weasels, you know, and it's the whole record, all their songs. But not all their songs are about beating women or shot my last girl. I mean, they have a song called Rubberhead about sniffing glue. You know, it's like, and it's such a. But I'm going to send you the record. I'm going to send you a copy. The song called "I'm a Rubberhead," talking about bouncing off the walls, can't hear nature's call, peeing in my pants, stuff too much glue. I mean, I thought the song was totally killer. It's got Hendrix riffs in the middle of it, and Hendrix stuff and breakdowns, and they had a song called "I Want to Rule the Planet," which was like a straight ahead thing that we all wanted to do as musicians. I want to rule the planet. Come on, give me control. I take the earth by the throat and I'll kick it in the balls. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
That means I want to make it. You know, so I dug that band and I put my own money up. I spent a fortune on that record, trust me. It's only going to sell probably 1,000 copies, but I don't care. It's for posterity, and it's for Mike Brophy, who's passed away, and the band was amazing. And there is a cult following still of people. Who is it? The Misfits. He's been out with the Misfits.
Glenn Danzig?
Yeah, Glenn went out with the Misfits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were from the 70s.
Yeah.
And people are packing it out. There's this cult following of this underground punk movement. You know, most of your fans won't know who I'm talking about because I'm old. But, you know, there was a band called The Mentors. They wore hoods. You know, they didn't show their faces because their lyrics were really bad. I mean, really bad. You know, so there was a band called The Mentors, and the singer's name was El Duce, and he was pretty hard. He made the Weasels look like the Beatles. But they were very hardcore, but they're very popular. They pack out every club. And El Duce always said, when I'm getting ready to die, I'm going to go jump in front of a train. And he did. He jumped in front of a train and died. So there's all this weird punk shit that went on in the 70s and 80s. And I was around it, you know. The Weasels opened up for Dokken like 5 times. I love the Weasels. Every time I played with the Weasels, I'd always get there early so I could see their show. But I thought they were so amazing. The point is, though, doesn't anybody have a sense of humor anymore?
No, that's forbidden.
You can't see Beer the Rake and make her pay for a mistake. I mean, it's a joke. You know, it's like, come on, people, lighten up. Do we all have to be stoic and flatline affect personalities and go, hello, it's very nice to meet you. I hope you had a nice time at the show. I hope you enjoyed our music. Now please leave because I don't want the lawsuit.
Right.
You know, that's where it's headed, dude.
Well, you know, even you mentioned Guns N' Roses earlier. Guns N' Roses released a box set this past year, and they omitted One in a Million.
They're one of their biggest hits.
Well, it wasn't really a hit, but it was offensive, so they didn't put it in the box set. They put all kinds of demos in there. They put all the songs in there from Appetite for Destruction and what they called GNR Lies and everything else, but they left One in a Million out of it.
What was so offensive about One in a Million?
Because they used the term police and niggers, get out of my way. I don't want to buy none of your gold chains today.
And they said faggots.
And they said faggots.
Well, the N-word is inappropriate.
Yeah.
I will go with that one. Nobody should use that word ever, ever, ever.
But they put it on a record for GNR Lies when it came out in '88.
Yeah, but they got in right under the wire. I didn't know that about that they used those words in that song. There was no reason to use those words in that song. They were just doing it obviously for shock value.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was shock value, like the Weasels. All the Weasels songs, the lyrics were shock value. Obviously, Guns N' Roses treaded down that path on One in a Million and used the N-word and, you know, and said, I want to buy any gold chains and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's a derogatory comment, but if they put that song out tomorrow and they're still together, what's going on now with the Me Too, they'd be in deep doo-doo.
Oh, okay, Don, but let me play devil's advocate here. And I'm certainly not saying, you should say that all the time. But is it not and especially when it comes to art, is it not the artist makes their art, whatever they consider to be their art? Is it not
Correct.
still the responsibility of the person that's buying the music or paying attention to music? If you don't like those words in songs, you just don't support the band anymore. Isn't it their responsibility?
That's right. Skip over the track. Or skip over the track.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the problem that I think we all see now is instead of letting the people make their decisions based on words that people are using, they're thinking they need to police for us. The government needs to police for us. The big record company needs to police for us. Like, we're not capable ourselves to say, yeah, that's inappropriate, or that's not what I want in my collection, in my house, in my, orb, I guess.
I understand, and I agree with that. I mean, you remember Richard Pryor used the N-word for 15 years in his stand-up comedian. He said the word nigger about 1,000 times. And then remember, he finally came back on his live show and he said, I've been using this word, for like a decade, and I'm telling you, the audience right now, I will never use the N-word ever, ever, ever again in my repertoire. I don't need to use that word to be funny. And Pryor realized you don't need to say that because it's a very derogatory statement. Now, then again, if you're black, you could use the word all you want.
Right.
Or they can call white people honkies. We're all honkies,
Right.
So it's kind of like an oxymoron. It's like we can say honky and we can use the N-word because we're black. But don't you say it like the comedian that was on who got his career crushed.
Louis C.K.?
No,
that's
famous.
Michael Richards?
The big tall guy, he's kind of a goofy
Seinfeld?
guy.
From Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Michael Richards.
Seinfeld, yeah. And he went on that comedy, he did a comedy show down in Hollywood, and some black guys were harassing him, and he started using the word the N-word, and he got crucified.
Yeah.
And nobody would book him. Yeah, the guy from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And literally, after that show, and it got on CNN, he had a 30-date tour. It was canceled.
Mm-hmm.
But he kind of overdid it. He kept saying "end this, end this, end this." Why can't I say "end this" and "end this"? You think I'm an "end this"? Well, I think you're an "end this," and and the blacks went crazy and went after him and said, "You're a racist." And but he didn't start it. It was the people in the audience harassing him. But he screwed his career, man. He screwed him forever. Just like the Kevin Spaceys. Some guy says you had. I love it when some guy says he has his hand down my pants for 5 minutes. If somebody has his hand down my pants for 5 minutes, I must be passed out.
But Don, don't you think that it's gotten completely out of control? And I'll give you an exact example from last week. Last week, the commissioner of the NBA said, well, we're no longer going to call the guys that own the team owners. We're going to call them governors now, because owner could be perceived as
slavery.
Is that not way out of
Come
control
on,
at this
man.
point?
Are you kidding me?
No, you can't be a team owner anymore because now you own black people.
You're a team
like
governor
a plantation owner.
Yeah. But
you guys are just bumming me out.
Plantation owners also own horses, and they own cars, and whatever.
So if I want to sell my car, I can't run an ad and say I am the owner of this car.
Yeah, you're the governor.
I don't know what to say.
You're
I'm the governor of the car.
Yeah.
I'm the So they could be the caretaker of the basketball team because there's black people on the team.
Right.
They're the caretakers. But this has gone too far. It's gone too far, and all this conversation we have tonight is just giving me more and more and more thoughts in my head for this next record about what I want to write about.
Well, good. When you get that record done, then you can say inspired by the CMS.
The CMS did it, and so if you don't like my lyrics, it's all their fault.
Don, we would love if you even put that out in a press release.
Yep. Talk to Wendell and Chris. They made me do it. I mean, but it's sad, isn't it? But at least you have your show that you guys can use the word fuck or asshole or I don't like he's a prick. You can do what you want because you're not regulated by, Sirius Radio or Clear Channel. They don't have their thumb on your neck.
And we're not sponsored, so we don't have any commercial sponsors. We're self-funded.
And that's why you can say what you want. But this whole election thing going on now, I've never cared about voting too much or who's running for president or who's going to win. I thought, my one vote, what does it mean? But it does mean something, I realize now. But you got 22 Democrats running for office, and I watched the debates, and I'm like, 22 people. This is a joke. Luckily, I know that in 4 months, half of them will be gone. But you watch the debates, and everybody is on their best behavior to be politically correct. No one has the balls to say what they really mean and what they really think what's wrong in this country and what needs to be fixed about this country. No one has the balls to really just put it out there because they go, we don't want to lose votes. We don't lose votes. It's wrong. So how do you know who to vote for when no one's telling you what they really think? They're just telling you what you want to hear.
Yeah, it's pandering.
And that's what's wrong with the government.
Yep.
And that's why Trump won. In my opinion, Trump won because he stepped in and he was so off the hook and going, I'm going to make America great again, and I'm going to bring back coal, and we don't need the EPA. There's no smog. There's no global warming. He went for the middle class, in my opinion, not highly educated college graduate, successfully. He went for the middle class that are struggling just to make a paycheck every week to pay their bills, to pay their rent. And he went for them. And he told them everything they wanted to hear. You vote for me, and you're going to not pay any taxes, and I'm going to make sure you all have jobs. And he told them whatever they wanted to hear. And they went, well, fuck, I'm voting for Trump, man. Even though he's nuts. He's psycho. He's a nut job. How embarrassing is it to be an American and we have a neurotic, borderline personality disorder sociopath for a president of the United States? How fucked up is that?
Don, the other end of this call is losing his mind now. He's the driver of the Trump train.
Well, Trump's out of his fucking mind. Look, he's talking to Putin, who's a mass murderer. In KGB, he murdered people. He's been in office for 20 years because no one will go up against him because they get shot. He's a murdering bastard. You got this fat bastard in Korea who sits around and watches cartoons who doesn't know shit. He's crazy as shit. Then you got the Chinese that hate our guts and are ripping off all our technology and stealing all our everything. They steal our computer technology, all our IT, everything. You're an IT guy, Chris.
Yep.
The Chinese are stealing everything, and I love it. They call it reverse technology. We'll just take your whole computer board, and we're going to steal that motherfucker, and we'll just print it backwards, and now it's ours, and it works. So it's insane. And Trump's why is he hanging out with all these assholes? Why is he hanging out with the French and the Germans, the Italians and the Swiss and the Norwegians and the Swedish, all the people that are back in America? Why isn't he back? Why isn't he hanging out with them and talking to them? This guy's a nut job. And if Wendell, if you're a Trump guy, well, my condolences. But on the other hand, we don't want to get into politics, but then on the other hand, I'm not a Trump supporter, but Trump has done some things and wants some things done that I agree with. So that's the problem. He is he politically a great? He's an asshole. We all know that he's a sociopath, and he's a narcissist. He's an egomaniac. But some of the things he wants to do for America, I totally agree with. We have to stop the influx, the immigrants coming in and There can't be 57,000 immigrants in every border crossing every month. It's just too many people. I saw this thing on the news yesterday. Was talking about the immigrants that there was 10,000 immigrants were supposed to go in front of the judge to apply for citizenship, for asylum. That's the way we do it, right? You go, they put you in a camp, and you go in front of a judge, and you say, I'm from Guatemala or Honduras, and I need political asylum, and I want a better life, and you go in front of the judge. So they had their meeting. 90% of those people didn't show up. 90% didn't show up. You know where they were? They hopped in a pickup truck and they took off to another state. So that tells me you're coming to this country on the premise of I want political asylum, and I want a better life, and I want a better. Everybody has a right to a better life. But if I hop on a plane tomorrow and go to Italy and say, here I am, I don't have any paperwork, I don't have a job, but I want you to give me an apartment and give me $800 a month to feed myself, they're going to throw my ass out of the country.
Well, they won't even let you in the country.
Correct. Or Switzerland or Germany. Well, not Germany. They do let them in. The point I'm making is everybody has a right to come to a better life in America, but do it through the proper channels. And here we had 10,000 people that we're going to allow to come through the Asylum Act. 90% didn't show up. They just bolted. They just left the camp and just split. So that just says volumes.
Well, it's just like, I'm here already. Now you got to catch me.
Right. I'm over the border. I'm in the U.S. My buddy's down the street in a pickup truck. I'm hopping in it. I'm going to hang on to that lawnmower, and off I go to L.A. So I don't want to get into this shit because, honestly, it has nothing to do with me. I'm not a politician. I don't really get involved in this shit. But it does give me fodder to write lyrics about what the hell is going on. What the hell's going on?
Well, we ask that question every week, Don. We have these discussions all the time. It's just like, when did all this start?
Yeah, when did it start? The Me Too thing, that thing had exploded.
2008, 2009.
Yep. And it's exploded, and for the fact that I can't look at a girl and say, you look really sexy in that dress, for fear she's going to sue me for sexual harassment.
Yeah.
I mean, really? Well, if you don't want me to say you look sexy in that dress, then don't show up in that dress. Show up in a muumuu.
Well, it's even worse for the common, working guy who actually works for a company. I mean, obviously you're self-employed and you've had...
Yeah, but a company, same thing.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying, it's even worse for those guys or girls, mostly guys, because if you do that within the confines of your office space, you're liable to lose your job.
Yep. And you got to be... Yeah, you can't say you look hot today. You have to say, you look very nice today.
Or nothing at all.
You look very pretty, or just shut your mouth. So the whole world has to shut their mouth now.
Yep.
So that's not freedom of speech. But I don't know what's going on. But trust me, in my world, I am totally paranoid on the road now.
As you should be.
I don't let anybody in the room. I am. Like I said, we don't let anybody in the restroom room. We don't want people in the restroom room. We don't want anybody saying anything, because we don't know what's going to happen. Everybody's got their damn cell phone camera going. So we keep them out, but how sad that you can't have an opinion and you can't compliment as a man. Some women say, thank you. It took me 2 hours to get dressed and put my makeup on and find the right dress, and you noticed it. Thank you. That doesn't happen,
Nope.
Nope, you can't say anything. You got to say, oh, okay, whatever. But I spent 3 hours getting dressed up. Yeah, whatever. You like my dress? What dress?
It's very adequate.
I didn't notice, sweetie. Oh my God, you have a miniskirt on. I didn't know that.
And you use the term "sweetie." What are you doing, you sexist?
Oh, there I go. See that? There it is. There's another Freudian slip. What do you mean, sweetie? I'm a woman. You don't. I'm not a child. You don't call me sweetie. I'm not your girl. So there I just did it right now. I did a Freudian slip and say, "Hi, sweetie. I'm screwed."
Yep.
So then you cut everybody off, and you don't want to talk to anybody, and everybody has this flat affect. Hello, how are you? All right, stand in front of the camera, take your picture. Next, okay. How are you? Goodbye. Next. Take your picture. Get the hell out of here. Next, take a picture. Goodbye. Next. I mean, you can't even engage in conversation and talk to fans that want to ask me a question about anything because I'm afraid they're just going to twist it and put it on the internet and say, Don said this, Don said that. And I'm like, no, I didn't. As we all know, there's plenty of people out there that think I'm an asshole, but I don't care about those people. I only care about my family. I only care about my friends. I care about you, Wendell, and Chris, and my kids, and my band members, and my tight-knit small group of friends. I don't give a shit, who likes me or doesn't like me. I just don't care. I go out on the stage. I do the best I can. I sing the best I can. If I'm not great or have a bad night, I apologize, but I do. But the people don't realize, like, they say Don wasn't singing great or Don wasn't in the high notes. They don't understand that I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying 100%. And if you don't hit that 100%, then you get your ass kicked on the internet.
Yep, that is true.
And it's nothing I can do about it. I can say, okay, I wasn't that good that last night. I'm sorry that I flew 11 hours from Europe and I had bronchitis and I got laryngitis and I've had 4 hours sleep, and they don't want to hear about it. They just want you to sing like you did in 1986. And if you don't, they're going to go on the internet and they're going to put up some fake name, Joe Bob, Billy Bob, and talk shit about you. Acorn.
Don sucked on Dream Warriors, man. It's over.
It didn't even sound anything like the original song.
How dare he not do it the way he did 35 years ago, man!
Yeah. That's like a woman coming to me and me making love to her and saying, what's up, Don? You were way better 35 years ago. and I'm like, no shit, honey.
And don't call me honey. And don't call me honey.
Yeah.
And don't call me honey. And you were a way better lover 35 years ago. You suck tonight. Well, sorry, I always tell people I have this terminal disease. And they all, you do? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. What is it? And I go, it's called AGE.
Well, there's no pill for it.
And we all, and guess what? We all have the same disease. We all got AGE. But I'm just looking forward to making a record. I don't know where it's going to go or head, but I did make a commitment that I want the next record to be very, I don't want to plagiarize myself. I don't want to regurgitate any old Dokken songs, but I want it to be very retro, classic, back to the attack, under lock and key, tooth and nail. I'm going down that road. That's where I'm headed.
Well, you'll get no argument from us because John is the guy who could definitely do that with you.
He can do that. I'm going to look to you, Wendell, because you're the expert on Dokken songs. I'll be sending you demos, and you can give me the thumbs up or the thumbs down, and and I'm going to look to people that I respect as a fan and as an artist and as a music lover. I'm going to be looking to people like you and Chris to say, here's 4 demos, guys. Do you like any of them, or you don't like any of them, or you like 1 out of 4? Just tell me, and I'll take it to heart, and I will try to do a better it. I'll try to better it. I mean, that's what I want to do, make a great record. And we have a huge record company that just signed us. Bands are not getting record deals anymore, man. The only record company left on the planet practically is Frontiers Records.
Mm-hmm.
And we did, 3 records on Frontiers? And I said, I can't make any more records for you. Because I make a record I'm proud of, like Lightning Strikes Again, or Broken Bones, and it came out on Monday and it was gone on Thursday. So I don't care about the money. They don't seem to get it. I don't care about the money. It's about, I want the music to get to the people, and I want the people to hear the songs. If I have to give the fucking record away, I'll do it. I just want to get the music out there, and that's the only thing I'm going for right now. I think it's very sad. I know so many musicians that had huge hits in the 80s, and they are flat broke. Mm. And literally will play anywhere for any amount of money. I think, what the hell happened, guys? Just bad management or divorces, or I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking of 3 people right now that made a lot of money in the 80s and they got nothing. How
is Blotzer?
Oh, you fucker. He's trying to set me up. I try to stay out of that one because, my daughter's mother is very good. And my daughter and her mother are very good friends with Bobby. So I just get the peripheral stories of what's going on. I know what's going on, but I'm not going into that. God bless Bobby. He can't help it. He obviously fell off his bicycle or something when he was young. I don't know. I wish him the best. We're playing 2 shows with Rat. I'm playing my next show in Canada with Rat.
Yeah, but he's not in that anymore. That's the different fake Rat. That's the Rat with Steven and Juan and the other guys.
Yeah, that's Juan and Stephen Piercy. I am still really, I'll be honest with you, I'm very upset that Warren's not in the band.
He is in the band.
No, Warren.
Oh, Warren. Yeah, Warren.
Oh, Warren's gone.
Yeah.
Warren's gone because Warren had he just had that cool swagger on his rhythms, and his guitar playing was very unique. And I always, Warren was in Dokken for a while, but I think Warren was just a great guitar player, man, and cool solos and cool rhythms. And when I heard he left the band, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me, right? So I don't know the politics of what happened. It's very secretive. Warren hasn't really talked about it. And I don't know what happened, but I just think it's sad. I mean, look, everything's so sad that I can't play with Lynch,
That's not that sad, honestly. That's not that sad at all. What's sad?
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for saying it. I didn't want to say it. You said
it. It doesn't bother us at all. In fact, all of our fans, or most of our fans anyway, that have come out to see, the shows, all they talk about is how great John is.
Right. Nobody can see a Dokken show, and even if they're a Lynch fan. George did some great things. George was a great guitar player. George did some great things on our records in the 80s. But anybody who sees us play now, when you see John play, you cannot deny his genius and his amazing guitar playing.
Yeah, dude,
and the best thing is, he's low maintenance. We get along. We don't fight. We're like brothers. We go to dinner. We go and hang out. We go on the plane, and we sit in fucking airports for 3-hour layovers. And, there's nobody in the band going ape shit and psycho. I need that in my life.
Well,
and I did a couple shows with George in the last year.
Right.
It was interesting.
It can't be, and I'm not a hater on George, although I've had my run-ins with George, so I'm not a huge fan, but I will say this. I saw you guys play, when was that, in February, I think, Don? I think, maybe.
At Minneapolis?
No. You played at the casino there in Cleveland.
Oh, the Grand something.
MGM.
Yeah, GM.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I saw you guys, John played about as good as any guitar player I've ever seen play anything. And now he admitted he was absolutely on fire that night. But even you in the middle of the show were like, Jesus fucking Christ, how good is this guy tonight?
Yeah, he's just shredding.
Yeah.
And John takes his guitar playing very seriously.
Sure.
You know, he has apologized to me after shows, and, oh, I'm sorry about the Hunter. I'm like, what happened to Hunter? Oh, I missed a couple notes. I'm like, you missed a couple notes? Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, that's how seriously he takes it. He wants it nailed to the wall, perfect, pristine, over the top. And he misses a couple notes. He's like, sorry. I'm like, oh, stop. You know, plus he's a sweetheart, you know, and George is a sweetheart too. You know, George and I get along, we talk, and, you know, and he's always wanting to know if we want to do a show, and my answer to that is no. So we tried it. We did Minneapolis. That was the scrap yard, wasn't it? The scrap metal.
Yeah,
show?
that's what it was. Yeah.
We didn't call it Dokken. We just said scrap metal with George Lynch and Don Dokken.
Right.
If I wanted the money, trust me. I mean, we could put a package together and wait till Jeff's off tour with Foreigner, and I probably could maybe reel Mick back in for 10 shows. We can go out and make a fortune.
Let me ask you about that, Don, because we talk about this a lot because people bring it up a lot, obviously, the Dokken reunion thing. For you, and I don't want you to start saying, well, this is how much we make and this is I don't want you to do all that. But just on a superficial level, would getting the four of you back together, the four classic era Dokken guys, and playing shows, for you personally, would it be that big of a bump in the money that you personally make to put up with the nonsense that would come with it?
No, it'd be less.
It'd be less. See, we always say that on the show, and people say that we're nuts.
No, look, it's very simple. Let's just throw a number out there. $50,000 a show, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. Split it 4 ways. That's $12,500 each.
Right.
Minus commissions, we're going to all walk away with $10,000. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's it. So we all walk away with $10,000 a show. Great. I make much, much more than that in the band I have now.
Yeah, and we've always said that because you're the sole entity owner.
Right. So I could go out with George and Jeff and Mick, but like Japan, everybody thought, oh, man, Japan, these guys are making $800,000 for 5 shows. Yeah, we made $800,000 for 5 shows. But I didn't make $800,000. I made $200,000. Minus taxes, which is 35%, minus commissions to the agent, minus commissions to the promoter. You know, I walked away with, like, I don't know what it was, but it wasn't $200,000. I mean, honestly, the guy that really made bank was Mick. You know, he made $200,000 for a week's work. You know, but when you break it all down, $800,000, you got taxes to the IRS. That's 36%. Now you're down to, in 600. Then you got 10% to the agent. Now you're down to 5, and then you split that up 4 ways. Do the math. Or I can go to Japan and everybody gets paid what I pay them, and I pay them really good. I can make double. So do I go and make less money with original members and worry about the stress and the personality conflicts and worrying that maybe George had one too many beers and goes into a tirade about the Indians? I don't know. I like the band I have. John's been in the band 20 years. Chris for years. I mean, so that's what people understand. Could we make more money as Dokken? Double, probably. But double would be less because I told the band 1,000,000 times, if you guys want to do a reunion tour, I cannot agree to a 4-way split. It's not fair. It's me. It's my voice. It's my songs. I wrote 80% of the songs. I own the franchise. I own the name. I'm not giving up 75%. That's insane.
And nor should you when you carried on the brand for the last 20 years when they didn't. You can't just automatically expect to step back in.
Yeah, does Jeff want to just come walking back in after 20 years and go, for every dollar you make, Don, I want to make a dollar. And George, and it's not fair. It's not about money or greed. It's just not fair. And I'm not doing it. So, I'm not doing it. So,
well, nobody can blame you for that, Don.
I'm happy where I'm at. But, why would I want to go on tour and make less money? And the only people that win are the fans. I understand that. But I just can't. I just can't do it. You know why? Because I'm afraid. I'm afraid if we got back together, the old, ugly baggage from what we went through in the 80s and the arguing and the I can't do that again. I'm too old. I'll have a heart attack. It's just too stressful, man. You think I wanted to quit Dokken, who I formed, and quit the band in 1989 at the top of our career in stadiums? It was my band, my name. I started the band. The first album people don't realize, Breaking the Chains, when it first came out, it was called Don Dokken, not Dokken. There was no George. There was no Mick. I paid him $1,500 to play on the record. It was my record, my solo album, and the only members of the band were Juan and me. And then, when those guys couldn't get anything happening, we got the deal in America, then I made them all full partners. My bad, I shouldn't have done that. But, this wasn't like Dokken was George and Jeff and Mick and Juan and me, and we started Dokken, and we went out and made a record called Breaking the Chains. It was a solo record. I've got a copy of it. I'm on the cover. It's called Don Dokken, Breaking the Chains. And we signed in America. I tried to do I thought it was a spiritual right thing to do and say, look, we're all in this together. We're all in this to want to make it. We all want to make it to the top. So I'm going to make it a four-way split. I make $1, you make $1. You make $1, you make $1. I thought that was fair. And it bit me in the ass. It bit me in the ass hard, trust me. So I don't want to talk about money anymore. It's just a boring fucking subject.
Yeah.
And the thing was, I used to tell them in the 80s we were making like insane amounts of money. Guys, invest in the stock market, buy some property, put away some bonds, put it in stocks, do something with it. Don't just keep buying blow. Cocaine has no return. It just goes up your nose and it's gone.
Right.
But thank God I never got into cocaine. So I probably would have been in the same boat and bankrupt and destitute. But it just wasn't my thing. It wasn't my thing, man. I just didn't dig it, And how sad that they had to come back in the band and dysfunctional, and they all came back. I don't think they didn't want to come back into the band. That was my band, my next solo. They came back because they were broke. And their homes were in foreclosure, and they didn't have a pot to piss in. And I said, where happened to all your money, guys? You guys are all millionaires. Where's all the fucking money? But the joke was they bought mansions, and I bought my little cracker box, 2-bedroom, 1-bath house in Manhattan Beach. I didn't want a mansion. I was like, I'm going to take my money and buy cars. Cars are where it's at, because when you buy a 64 Corvette or a 59 Rolls Royce or a 69 Challenger, God ain't making any more of them. They're only going to go up in value. So that was my investment thing. And I had people around me, luckily, good people in management and family that would tell me, take your money and put it here, and don't piss it away. And, I had guidance. So that really helped me get to where I am now. And now I'm sitting up here in the fucking boonies in this damn church. Off the grid, you've been here, Wendell.
I have.
You'll like it next time you come out, Wendell. Oh, man, I had all, I've got 19 5-foot windows. And I put in like stained glass and like church glass, and I designed them all myself. And when you walk in the bathroom, you get these rainbows of the sun coming through the stained glass on the walls. I'm in fucking heaven, man. I'm loving it up here. And I got my dog, Cody, and Kane, and we go hiking in the morning, and the dogs are happy, and life is good, man. Life is good.
Oh, your dogs took a liking to me right away.
Boy, Cody, man, and Cody, you know, I couldn't, he's not allowed on the couch, as you remember, and he jumped on that couch and jumped right on your lap, man. He was glued to you like crazy glue. I mean, I was kind of shocked because Cody knows you're not allowed on the couch unless I tell you, and he just jumped right on your ass, and that picture of you with Cody, he just fell in love with you. And Kane, you know, Kane's an old man. Kane's 12 years old. Our poor old shepherd, he's fading pretty quick. And so we got a wheelchair, and we're going to put him in it next week, you know, in the back legs, with some wheels on it to help him get around with his back legs. But I got great dogs, and life is good, and hopefully next time you come out, this place will be painted. I hate it. It's the worst. I'd rather cut trees down with a chainsaw all day long than paint. Painting is like some kind of, it just sucks. It's the worst thing you could ever want to do. I mean, I have a lot of respect for painters, but I got an estimate to paint the house. It was like $12,000, and I said, to paint $12,000? How much is the paint going to cost? $400. I went, wait a minute, $400 for paint. You got $300 in rollers. You got $50 in drop cloths. So you want $11,000 for a week's work. I got a better idea. I'll fucking do it myself. So that's what I've been doing. My phone's been ringing off the hook all day at my birthday thing. Everybody kept saying, "What are you up to? You having dinner? You going out with your girl? You go to a movie?" And I go, "No, I'm kind of busy right now painting the fireplace." So that's kind of a what? You're painting the house on your birthday? I'm like, well, somebody's got to do it. So, well, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna go to bed. Speaking of, what I wanted to do for my birthday, which people say is just ridiculous, I wanted to go out to dinner, have a glass of wine, and come home, and I wanted to watch Dumbo.
What?
And I'm not bullshitting you. There's the new Dumbo, which is live action, you know, real actors, but animated elephant, obviously.
Oh,
I've been wanting to see that thing. I really want to see Dumbo.
Okay. We'll go
So
watch.
it's too late now. I'm going to go to bed, but tomorrow I'm making it a post-birthday present to myself that I get to watch Dumbo.
All right. All right, Don. Well, I'll catch up with you in a couple of weeks. You're going to be here at the Arcada Theater in St. Charles, Illinois, and I guess.
Oh, that's right. We're playing the Arcada. I love that place.
Yeah. Remember last year the air conditioning was broken.
And it was a little toasty. But, you know, I only have 2 shows in the next 4 months that I am contemplating canceling because we're supposed to play in Henderson, Nevada in August. And they said the average temperature will be 115 degrees outside. Yeah. And I did it last year, and I played at the Sunset Station. And I remember us being in the dressing room with 2 air conditioners going, and we were sweating. And I told Mick, let's go on stage, and let's try to get through 2 songs. And if you start feeling faint, just say, fuck it, and just get off the drums and walk away, and the show's over. And it was like 114 degrees. And it was brutal. And we have a show coming up in Otago, Texas. Supposedly it's outdoors. It's going to be 110 to 12. We got Henderson, Nevada. Nobody goes to Vegas in August. Nobody. But they do. They show up, 4,000 or 5,000 people going, and I hate that saying. You get used to it. Well, I ain't getting used to it. So, fuck that, man. I like the beach. So we got some shows coming up that are real brutal. We just played Mexico. Not Mexico, I take it back. We played last week in Puerto Rico, San Juan. Great show, a lot of people, and it was brutally hot, 100% humidity. It was just brutal. And when you do shows like that, it's not fun. You're not playing, you're just trying to survive the show.
Right.
But the cool thing about Puerto Rico, they're Brazilian kind of they're like Sao Paulo. None of the women wear tops. I have never seen so many titties in my whole life. It was a beach show.
Yeah, but you have to just look at them and go, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was cool because we were playing on a beach. It was called the Vivo Club, on the ocean, which is cool, on the sand, big-ass stage, big production. There's 5 bands. We're the headliner. And I walk on stage, and everyone's in bathing suits because it's hotter than shit out. And none of the women were wearing tops, which is a good thing and a bad thing. You have the perky, breasts, and then you have the raw eggs on nails.
You have the 20-year-olds and you have the 60-year-olds.
Yeah. I personally like saggy boobs. I think they're kind of cool. I like them when they kind of hang down. I think it's kind of sexy, but I kept saying, there's not, that nobody's wearing tops. I mean, I'd say 25% of the women in the audience were topless. It was very strange to be hard to concentrate when because I'm not, I'm a guy. And I'm looking at an ocean of nipples, and I'm like, oh my God, this is not fair. But it's an interesting, that in America you would never see that, but you go to Puerto Rico, Brazil, Honduras, Guatemala, all these places I played, people don't wear their tops. They think it's normal, I'm gonna get into politics. I want to pass a law that women are not allowed to wear tops on the beach.
There you go.
Yeah, man. All right, guys, have a good night. I want you guys to get back to talking about some fun shit instead of boring Dokken stuff.
Well, believe me, the fans are loving your appearance on the show here, Don. I've been getting texts. This is a badass interview, man.
Well, I'm happy, and I'm just, like I said, I'm up in Santa Fe and going home next week back to BH, and I'm just getting ready to put the studio all back together and fire up all the recording gear. And John's going to fire up his recording gear, and we're going to get together and knock out a new record. But I got to finish these last 4 tracks for the retro lost tapes, whatever you want to call it. I haven't decided what the hell to call it. But it's out on the internet. It was called Back in the Streets. It's just a bunch of demos. But I have 4 or 5 songs that were never released, and I have to laugh when I heard the demos of me singing in 79. I sound like Mickey Mouse. It's hilarious. My voice was so squeaky and high, it was hilarious. I sound like a little kid, trying to sing. It's kind of funny. So maybe you'll find it tongue in cheek. And when the Weasels album is done, it's done. I'm going to send you guys a copy if you guys got the balls to play it.
Oh, we'll play it.
Play it.
We'll play it.
There's 9 songs on there, and I think it's killer. I think the album is amazing. I think it is very, very valid about the 70s, 80s punk movement. And the cool thing about them is they were all great players. And I think I can't even listen to it. I start laughing, But boy, if Oprah's here in this interview, she'd come out and kick my ass.
All right, Don. Well, we're going to let you go. And one last question.
Take care, buddy.
I know that you're going to play a couple acoustic shows, and we were kind of throwing around the ideas. Are you still thinking of maybe playing Stay?
You know what? If you show up one of those shows, I'll play Stay.
I will be at both of them.
Okay, that's it. I'm putting it in the set.
All right. Well, I'm going to end this visitation with you with Stay. So go get some sleep, enjoy your wine. Happy birthday, and thanks for spending 2 hours with us.
Yeah.
Thanks. It was a cool song. You know what? I dug the video we did. I thought it was a cool video.
Agree.
Love the whole album.
Yeah, the Stay video we filmed in New York. It was a cool video. It was live, and it was a cool video. All right, boss. You guys take care. God bless you all, and and have a great 4th of July next week, and we'll reconnect soon.
Okay, I'll see you in a couple weeks, Don.
See you, man.
Good night. Bye.
All right, good night.
Bye-bye, Chris. Bye-bye.